Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu, salamu, rasulullah, assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Step Up Thursday. I'm Catherine Jones, your emotional and spiritual resilience mentor and coach and founder of the Back to the Future Mentoring Academy. Today's topic is, looking at my notes, stepping up within, taking charge of your life is an inside job. And yeah, I think this really relates to a verse of the Quran, which is Allah does not change the condition of a person until they change the condition within themselves. And it's also very fitting right now, being the month of Quran, but also being the last 10 days where we're really focused on taking that next step up. And that's what Step Up Thursday is about, is challenging you to take a step up somewhere in your life. And before we can do that, something usually has to shift inside. That's why I say it's an inside job. What we tend to do is want something to shift on the outside. We want to perhaps eat better so that we can feel healthier or lose weight or whatever, or perhaps we want to memorize or recite more Quran, or perhaps we want to do better with our family, showing up better for them. And so the goal that we're looking for, or where we want to step up, is something on the outside. And so we try our best to create checklists or routines or something on the outside in order for us to step up and achieve what it is that we want to achieve. And a lot of the time, it takes a lot of willpower. So a lot of pushing ourselves, a lot of really hanging in there to try and make it work. And then after a period of time, we run out of willpower. We run out of steam. And the reason for that is that there has to be a shift inside for us to make the shift outside. So that's why I say that stepping up is an inside job, that we need to take charge of things inside in order for the outside to flow. And in fact, what is so beautiful about this, and if you've ever experienced it, you would feel how miraculous it is when that shifts on the inside, what happens on the outside becomes quite effortless. So for an example, when something shifted inside of me around my health and around seeing that caring for this body that Allah gave me was actually an act of worship and something to do for the sake of Allah, it wasn't a case of it being a real trial to do things like stop drinking coffee and removing sugar from my diet and all these sorts of things. That actually became quite effortless. When in the past, trying to step up in that way, I had really had to force myself and use willpower, and I really struggled and ended up giving up. Now I have struggled to continue that through Ramadan, and so basically I haven't dropped everything, but I'm not keeping up the same routine, simply because it was really difficult to fit it in with the Ramadan routine. And I'm really looking forward to when I just pick it up again after Ramadan, and it doesn't feel like an effort or feel like I've gone backwards or feel like something to beat myself up about, that I realize that, okay, it's not going to work for these few weeks of Ramadan, but as soon as Ramadan's finished, I'll just pick it back up again and go with the flow. And that's what happens when you want to step up with something in your life. The shift inside, when that happens, the things that you need to do on the outside become more effortless. So if you've got something, someplace you want to step up in your life, and we're reflecting on these things right now because it's Ramadan and it's the last 10 days, and it tends to be the time where we start thinking about what have we done with our life, what have we done with Ramadan. It's the time to kind of really reflect on how we want to step up. If we just take that and try and do it from the outside rather than the inside, just build the routine or force ourselves to do it, or have that stick with the willpower to do it, the likelihood of us continuing it through to the next Ramadan is low. Some may have really good willpower, but do we really want to rely upon willpower? Because as soon as we get sick, or family issues come up, or life issues come up, our willpower tends to drop, right? We're less able to stick at it. So when you want to step up, the first place to look is inside to see what are the barriers to stepping up. What are the barriers to this thing that I want to do? So for me, because I was using the example of my health, for me, I saw looking after my health as losing weight. It was a very external thing. There was a lot of issue around that, emotionally caught up with certain attitudes of certain people in my family. There were certain limiting beliefs that I had, or things that I had going on that various coaches had tried to work with me on about being big, being an advantage. So there's all this sort of stuff. And I could go on for years trying to address all of those sorts of things. What had to shift inside was the intention. And it's no surprise whatsoever to us as Muslims that the shift of intention to be for the sake of Allah and not for the sake of weight or whatever other issues is what made the difference. When I shifted to purely wanting to do it because I realized, number one, I had been displeasing Allah in the way I'd been looking after my body, or hadn't been looking after my body. In fact, I came up with this term, well, I may not have, but it came to my mind, that I was nutritionally abusing my body all these years, and that it was time I stopped doing that, and that I needed to step up and look after my body, because Allah blessed me just with this one body for this life. And once it's worn out, it's worn out. And what am I going to do then? And the whole idea of perhaps Allah punishing me for not looking after it by my body wearing out quicker, or coming up with some kind of illness as a repercussion of the nutritional abuse that I'd given my body, that scared me. I thought, what, subhanAllah, if I don't do this, Allah's going to send me a test to make sure I turn it around. So how about I turn it around first? And that really motivated me. And so it didn't become about willpower anymore at all. I was very motivated from within, and it became effortless, and I made dua, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put before me the right people to support me, the right program to follow. And that's how it works. You want to step up in your life, it's turning to Allah first, making dua, really making our intentions for the sake of Allah. And then the rest will unfold, because it will come from Allah. We don't have to find it from within ourselves then, because we've done the shift. We've done the inside work that's necessary by shifting our intentions to Allah, by shifting our focus to Allah, by handing it over to Allah. Then, because that's our trusting in Allah. The tying the camel bit then is to take the steps. Just simply one step at a time, one day at a time, inshallah. So I hope that's been helpful. Obviously, this isn't just about looking after your body and weight loss. That's just the example I gave of myself. What is it that you would like to shift? What is it that you would like to leave Ramadan as, this is the thing that is my project for this year that I want to still be on track with Ramadan next year? Because each Ramadan we want to take a step up, right? And we want to keep that step up so that the next Ramadan we can take the next step up. So have a think about what that is, what aspect of your life that is. And just then make dua in these last 10 days. Focus on your intention being for the sake of Allah. How does this become for the sake of Allah? How does that fit with your relationship with Allah? And then start. Just take one step and start. That's what all about stepping up is all about. If you've got a mountain to climb, the best way to climb it is you just put one foot in front of the other. Not so much looking at the top and freaking yourself out, at how far you've got to go, but just looking at the ground and going, okay, next step. All right, took that step, next step. And inshallah, you'll get there. So that's it for Step Up Thursday. I'll be back again next week for Step Up Thursday. And we're going to be talking about how you can embrace ihsan and inner salam in your life. If you are keen to really take charge of your emotional and spiritual well-being, have a really beautiful relationship with Allah and your family members, the people close to you, really feel at peace in your life, confident and resilient, patient, all of those beautiful things, we have a special opportunity this Ramadan and for the Peaceful Hearts program, which I'm just about to bring up. There we go. So Peaceful Hearts program is a 10-week program. It's all pre-recorded and available for you immediately on joining, and it's 95% off during Ramadan. It really is a very small investment for the potential to have huge shifts in your life. And there are many sisters who have really shared the changes that they've had just in doing this 10-week program. So take a look. It's at heartsfindrest.com. Let me bring that link up for you. I have it here somewhere. Let me see. There we go. I'll have to take this one down. There we go. You can see it here in front of me. heartsfindrest.com. Just go and check that out and see what it's about. Any questions, you're quite welcome to message me and send me those questions. But I really recommend that you take this opportunity to check it out. It's really how to find that inner salam, that fearless confidence, total resilience, effortless patience from an Islamic perspective. Islam is woven through it. There's no way for me that Islam isn't a part of our emotional and spiritual resilience. It's not possible. So if you want emotional and spiritual well-being, heartsfindrest.com. And this Ramadan is the time to join, because at the end of Ramadan it will be going up to its usual price of $99, which is still already 90% off. But for Ramadan it's just $49 for a 10-week program. Absolutely worth every cent, I can assure you. If you're not satisfied, tell me, I'll give you your money back. Absolutely, because I'm that confident in it. Alhamdulillah. All right, sisters, that's it for today. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.